So let's say that I'm tempted, okay? And I'm tempted to put a big hole in this drywall. Now I want to show you what happens when I yield to my temptation, okay? So there's a little lesson here. So I'm going to make a big noise, so you might cover your ear, because I'm going to put a big hole in this with the hammer, okay? You ready? I'll do it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, I was tempted to put a hole in that drywall, and I yielded to my temptation. Now, I want you to notice a couple of things. It made some damage on the surface, but the most damage is behind the scenes. Okay, you watch when I turn this around. Look at how much more damage was done where you couldn't see compared to what you could see. And in fact, behind me here, I got a huge mess. You can't see it, but there's a mess all the way to the door there. That's the way it is when you yield to temptation. The greatest damage is the damage that you can't see. The second thing that this teaches, it only takes a second, just a split second, to yield to that temptation and put that hole in that drywall. Now, that can be fixed, can it? You've probably seen it. You've probably had a hole in your wall or seen a hole in a wall. That can be fixed, and that's the good news. But it's going to take a lot longer to fix it than it took to make the hole. Okay, so if you yield to temptation, it's only going to take you a short while to fall into that sin. It's going to take you a long time to, it can be repaired. I need to take the hammer out. I need to make sure to fix up the edges. Then I need to get some fill and some tape. I have to do several layers. I have to sand it between each layer. Then I have to prime it and wait. And then I have to paint it, probably with some primer, and then paint it a couple of coats. It's going to take days to fix this hole. It can be fixed, but it takes a lot longer than it did to fall into the temptation. And the third lesson about this little illustration is that the part that's fixed may never be as good as it was the first time. So it can be fixed, and you can go on, and maybe nobody will ever notice, but it may never be fixed as well as it was the first time. So just keep that. By the grace and miracle of God, it may be stronger. Who knows? But naturally speaking, it's not going to be as good as if you had it left alone to begin with. Does that make sense? You remember that illustration? Okay, good. Now we need somebody to clean up the mess. All right, thanks.